Hello, I'm very pleased to welcome you to a conversation with Sara Pantuliano, the chair of the Secretary General's Peacebuilding Fund Advisory Group. Sara, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It's a pleasure.
Over the past couple of years, Sara has provided invaluable leadership to the advisory group of the fund, steering its efforts towards enhancing peacebuilding initiatives globally. Today, we have the opportunity to delve deeper into Sara's insights, experiences, and reflections on peacebuilding and the work of the Secretary General's Peacebuilding Fund. Sara, I have a few questions for you, if I may.
Fire on.
First of all, major global shocks have been challenging the credibility of international institutions. A growing number of people seem to question the raison d'être of the multilateral system and whether it's fit for purpose to achieve its core mandate on peace and security. As chair of the PBF advisory group for the past 2 years, you've undoubtedly encountered numerous challenges and celebrated many successes. Could you share with us some of the key highlights and achievements that you're particularly proud of during your time as chair?
Certainly, and there are some that I would have not expected, to be honest, when we started with the 7th advisory group. There are two I'm really proud of. The first one, of course, is that we have managed, despite the challenges of the multilateral context, to get agreement on the assessed contribution for the Peacebuilding Fund. When we embarked on upon this, trajectory, many thought we were deluded, that it was impossible to get the House, to agree to assess contribution for peacebuilding. But, it shows that multilateralism is still really important and agreement can be found. And I'm delighted because even though, we've only managed to get 50 million, let's face it, it's not the quantum leap that the Secretary General was hoping for and then asked for,
yes.
But still, it's a very important gesture. It's a very important symbol that peacebuilding needs to be supported through the core resources of the United Nations. And for me, that was really, a joint effort, of course, between your team and the advisory group, but something very important that reasserts the primacy of peace and peacebuilding.
Absolutely, and we had a lot of very strong member state support, some real leaders on the issue, and then the whole membership rallied behind them.
Yeah.
And I agree that it's been a singular achievement, $50 million additional per year, with the predictability of it every year in the coming 5 years, starting in 2025 and hopefully beyond. Really an achievement we couldn't have done without the advisory group. And your second big achievement?
My second big achievement has been the strengthening of the relationship with the Peacebuilding Commission. The relation has always been there. Previous chairs have met with the chair of the PBC, but last year we had the first full meeting of the whole advisory group and the whole Peacebuilding Commission. And, we've had dialogue. I have, attended retreats of the Peacebuilding Commissions. We have had members of the PBC coming on joint missions, of the donors to the Peacebuilding Fund, to countries that receive Peacebuilding Fund's resources. It's so important that this relationship is growing and is strengthening because, they are two fundamental pillars of the peacebuilding architecture of the United Nations, and this complementarity is instrumental, to the success of peacebuilding and the progress that we can make. So I'm really proud that we have strengthened this relationship, and of course there is, the review of the peacebuilding architecture coming up next year. Yeah. This is an important, moment to continue to further the strengthening of this relationship.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Sara. And the Peacebuilding Commission is an intergovernmental body here at the United Nations of 31 member states, and it's not as well known as a Security Council, but it really does play a critical role in terms of accompanying member states who wish to engage with them in terms of the development and the realization of their peacebuilding priorities. And they are very interested, that membership, in having greater synergies and more collaboration with the Peacebuilding Fund. So I think that ongoing dialogue now that's only become stronger in the last few years between the Peacebuilding Fund's advisory group and the PBC, I think will only give us additional benefits. It will help, I think, to strengthen the entire UN peacebuilding architecture. So I certainly agree with you that that's a really important achievement of the advisory group.